this is Derek Craig from Magnus Broadheads. What I'm going to explain to you today is what we at Magnus call the system. For lack of better terminology, that's what we've come up with. When you look at turkey hunting, especially the way we like to turkey hunt, which is on the ground with ground blinds with bows and taking headshots, it's a puzzle, and every puzzle has pieces. And there are hundreds of different ways to hunt turkeys. There are hundreds of different products that are all great to be used while you hunt turkeys. What I'm going to show you today is what we at Magnus feel is the best combination when you're trying to go after turkeys from a ground blind and head shooting them. This spot looks good. Actually, this is a spot that I would actually choose to hunt turkeys, so this is a good location. We're going to talk about the system. What we at Magnus Broadheads feel is the best combination to up your success in ground blind hunting birds, shooting them in the head, taking heads off. DOC, dead on contact. As you can see, out here I got a backpack full of gear. It looks like a lot, but surprisingly it's not very much. In fact, normally my camera tripod would be on here and I'd have a camera bag in my hand, at least one camera bag, if not two. Got my bow in one hand, rack pack on my back, double bull ground blind, bag of Dave Smith decoys. So get out here, first thing we're going to do is basically just drop the pack and start getting set up. I'm going to go over a few of the key points over the whole process. Now, as you can see here, I got a pile of gear here. Before we start talking gear, let's talk camouflage. Okay, the way you go about turkey hunting traditionally is be camo head to toe, sitting up against the base of a tree, camo face mask. The problem in ground blind hunting is you want to match your background, and all ground blinds, or the majority of them these days, at least all the quality ones, have a black interior. So we don't want to wear camouflage inside the blind. We want to wear black. What I'm wearing right now is called Ground SWAT Camo. This is actually the new Ground SWAT Tactical. It was developed by Dave Deming back in the days when he used to work with Keith Beam and Brooks Johnson of the original Double Bull days. Dave has come up with an abstract camouflage. The new Tactical's got darker colors and it's got some greens. It adapts well to many situations. Here it is very early in Indiana. Turkey season's still a month and a half away, and actually it's not a bad camo for today, even that there's no green. But the cool part about the Ground SWAT is the tops are reversible. So when I get in the blind, I'm simply gonna take this off. I'm gonna peel it off. I go to black and find my armhole. Boom. Got a reversible zipper here. And I'm in business. Now really, the credit to the black goes to Keith Beam and Brooks Johnson. When they developed the whole double bull hunting method, they quickly realized black is the key inside of a ground blind. We actually have a Ground SWAT head piece that I'll put on when I get in the blind. Goes from camo to black, and I always like to take some black gloves on, especially at least for my bow hand, so when I'm at full draw, my white hand isn't out there showing. Okay, so that's basically the camouflage system that we use. Again, Ground SWAT Tactical, made by Dave Deming. We at Magnus Broadheads sell it. We at Magnus feel the best ground blinds out there are still the double bull blinds, now made by Primos. The Matrix and the Dark Horse in particular. Crate blinds, very adaptable with the window configuration any way you want. This happens to be a Dark Horse. I'm gonna throw it out. Boom, it's set up that easy and that fast. Now, as you'll notice, I'm going to go back to the camouflage here real quickly. This is a double bull Dark Horse made by Primos. It has the original ground swat pattern on it. A little bit lighter than the new tactical pattern, but it's a great effective pattern for turkey hunting, whitetail hunting, mule deer, elk, whatever. Blends into the backgrounds fairly well. Going deer hunting, you can stubble it up. Actually, this one I had custom made. I took it to a canvas shop and actually had stubble straps sewn in so I can brush it in for whitetail. Turkeys, you don't need to. One thing to always keep in mind when you're setting your ground blind, whether it's for turkeys or deer, is get the sun to your back, or at least a degree to your back. You're going to keep the amount of ambient light that shines in this window to a minimum. You'd be surprised when you get inside how bright it actually is inside. If you keep the sun to your back and you're wearing black, those animals can't see in. Okay, now let's talk about the rack pack and getting this double bull blind out here, or any blind that you decide to choose to bring out for that matter. The rack pack is actually undergoing some changes that will make it even better. This model here is awesome. It's a 2010 version. Awesome unit. I've been hunting on, I had one of the very original ones, and then I got 2010, which really there were no changes to. And now for 2012, they're just going to be great. They're going to be stronger, shooting for a lower price point if at all possible. So basically, when you bring your rack pack out here, you're going to unclip the seat portion. You're going to see the legs swing around. And I like to get the seat inside the shoulder straps like this. You flip it over and boom, you have a chair. Just that simple. It's also cool. It's got two buckles here that we can undo and actually can flip up a headrest. Now you do this inside the blind normally. I've done it out here so you can see. So basically there's our rack pack, and when you get in the blind, you got yourself a comfortable seat to sit down. You can draw your bow and shoot. If you need to slide down to one knee and shoot, it's really easy. It's comfortable. You can kick back, relax while you're waiting. One of the keys to ground blind hunting turkeys is patience. Patience kills turkeys. If you're comfortable, not to the point where you're sleeping, but if you're comfortable, you're going to stay longer, you're going to be more patient. Chances are your odds of success are going to go up. One problem for a long time with bow hunting out of a blind has been what to do with the bow. You set it in there, it falls down, you lay it on the ground, you got a sharp broadhead sticking up. There's just never been a good way to do it. Well, some guys came up with a cool product here that Magnus really recommends, and it's called the bow sticks. And basically, the bow sticks is an adapter that goes in your stabilizer hole. It's got two prongs that come off of it, the leg screw into. Basically, you got almost infinite adjustment and up and down to adapt to your bow. You got two legs that screw together. They go in your quiver, okay? You unscrew these two legs, screw one in this side, you screw the other in this side, and boom, you got a great tripod, 3 points for your bow to rest. So now you're sitting in your ground blind and your bow is sitting there upright. You can have an arrow nocked. You're not worrying about a sharp broadhead flopping around. When you get ready to go shoot, because it's leaned against the blind, it's knocked your arrow off the rest. It's just as simple and slick setup as you can get. And we at Magnus highly recommend the Bow Sticks product. You can buy that product on the Magnus website as well. It's made by the guys from Wannabe Outdoors. Okay, let's talk decoys. Now, you can get on the internet and see different forums. You get guys arguing over what decoys are best, what ones are needed or not needed. That seems to be the big catching argument thing here these days on the internet, is what's needed in a decoy and what's not needed. Us at Magnus feel hands down the best decoy on the market for bow hunting birds and putting birds in the decoys and holding them in the decoys close are those made by Dave Smith. Brad Cochran and Dave Smith of Dave Smith Decoys just make incredible decoys. What I like to hunt with is I like to hunt with a feeder hen, an upright hen, and a jake. They've got a breeding hen. It's a great decoy. It sits lower to the ground, corn stubble field, it's kind of tough to see. They got a new strutter, awesome decoy. I mean, taxidermy quality look. You know, I kind of wondering if it might shy away some of your younger toms. It's definitely going to be a deadly decoy on an old mature tom. So I'm going to show you. Here's a couple, and this is the way I carry them into the field. I got a bag, and I try and shove my Jake down a little more when I'm going out hunting for safety reasons, even though I'm hunting private ground. There's our Jake decoy. Stake shoves in a hole in his backside. Whoops, pointy side down. And basically, I don't press on the decoy. It's there. It's set up. In the bag. Get on back. Get your feeder hen. That's it. I basically take all my decoy bags, I throw them in the blind, I find a place in the back to stuff them. These are as realistic of a decoy as you can get without going to a taxidermy stuffer. They take the abuse. These are the new Ace material. They're flexible. The paint holds with them well. They just look incredible. One of the keys to using these decoys, when you set them up right, and typically we'd set this Jake facing towards the blind or in a direction opposite of what you think turkeys are going to come from, put them relatively close to, say, the upright hen, maybe put the feeder out there for some confidence. We put them close to the blinds, like 10 yards max off the blinds. Having what I refer to as an ultra-realistic decoy like a Dave Smith not only brings birds in, it holds birds in the decoy. When you're filming hunts, as we do, we want our birds to stay there so we can get some footage. If you're taking kids out hunting, we want those birds to come into the decoy, settle down, and relax to give the kid as much chance as possible to shoot a bird, whether it's with a shotgun, a bow, crossbow, whatever. Me as a bow hunter, I want those birds to come in and settle down. Guys ask all the time. They ask, you know, their heads never stop moving. They will. If you bring the birds into the decoys and get them relaxed, they will actually stop moving long enough for you to take a nice headshot. Okay? So right there, Dave Smith decoys. So as you can see, the problem with ground blind hunting is you got to match your background, and the best way to do that's black. Got the reversible hood from Ground SWAT, got the black. Put the black on. I like to put at least one black glove on my bow hand, and as I drop back in the blind, I'll completely disappear. Now you can't see me, the turkeys can't see me. I got my bow up in position, the black riser, my black glove on my hand. It's simply drawing back, taking my time on a bird that's settled in the decoys, and letting a bullhead fly. The big piece of the puzzle is we all want to lop heads off. Shooting them in the head or neck is one of the coolest things when it comes to turkey hunting. There's nothing better than that crunch sound when you hit them right in the head or in the neck square with an arrow. The best product to do that with, we feel, is the Magnus Bullhead. What I got in my quiver is a 125 grain Magnus Bullhead. It's on what we call the Bullhead arrow system, which is a Victory V-Force V1 arrow, 4 fletches on the arrow. They fly incredible. They fly like darts. You tune your bow in, you get it set up, and I've got tuning videos out there, as does Woody Sanford from Magnus, on getting these things to fly, and it's really not that hard. You just take a few minutes with your bow and you got it. We have quiver adapters. Basically, is a plastic adapter. I got these wedged in there pretty good. Goes in your quiver, lets you safely carry the bullhead. The bullhead is dead on contact. It takes their heads clean off. Even if you graze them, there's so many veins in the head and neck that they bleed out quickly. There's just nothing like shooting them in the head. Guys ask all the time. I just don't see how to do it. It just seems like a body shot would be so much easier. The thing about a turkey, and it's just looking at this decoy, is the vitals in a turkey are so small. The head and neck is actually square inches wise. When you break it down in an area, it's a larger target. Especially, now this decoy's got his head down, but when that turkey's got his head up, you got 10 inches or so of vertical kill zone, you got a couple inches in width in the neck, and you got 4 inches or so width in the head. There's a lot of area. The problem with body shot is, where do I aim? A turkey moves around like this, where do I aim? You want to get them in the heart and lungs, and such a small kill zone that if you get one there, you're pretty lucky actually that it doesn't fly off. When aiming, you know, picking that spot, we're taught as bow hunters, pick a spot, pick a feather to aim at. I don't know where to aim. It's too hard. My head gets all freaked out and I zone out and not sure where. Aim at the head and neck, I always know where. It's such a contrast in colors to what we see in the woods, that bright red, the blues, the whites. It's so easy to aim at. And when you get them settled into the decoys, especially like some Dave Smith decoys, they stop moving a lot of times, or they stop moving for 3-4 seconds. Gives you plenty of time to settle the pin, release an arrow, and take his head off. Again, what I've gone over is what we call the system. You follow these tips and go with these products in particular, and it's going to up your odds this coming spring. You're going to put more birds in the bag, you're going to put more birds in the decoys, you're going to take some heads off. If you shoot film, you're going to get some of the best footage that you've ever seen. Check out Magnus Broadheads at magnusbroadheads.com. Give them a call at the office. Mike Sohm, the president and CEO of Magnus, chances are you'll get him on the phone. He's the greatest guy to talk to. Call Woody Sanford if you need technical advice. My name's Derek Craig. I'm a pro staffer for Magnus. I also own and operate New Day Outdoors Productions. So check us out on the web. We'll see you out in the turkey woods this spring. Good luck and be safe.